Thank you, Patrick. Our final speaker today is Jim Salenza. Jim is the Executive Director of the Rhode Island Committee on Occupational Safety and Health. And thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Sam.
Good afternoon. Public transit sits at the center of the two major crises that we're encountering today: the climate crisis and the pandemic crisis. I think I don't need to rehearse the statements about climate because it's crucial if we're going to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the transportation sector. We've got to do a lot of it has got to be devoted to public transit. And in addition to that, the way that the public transit is perceived has got to be perceived as a critical mitigation factor in climate change. On the other hand, the pandemic situation makes it a little more difficult because public transit is essentially getting people together in small spaces. And the mantra for controlling the crisis from the pandemic is keep people apart. People don't go to work, they stay home. We reduce people in hotels, restaurants, any facility, theaters are closed. Keep people apart is the mantra of a non-pharmaceutical approach to the pandemic crisis. So what this bill does is provide a bridge between one and the other, a positive bridge, to feed people, to say there's a free ride, to say you can get on public transit for free, to some extent mitigates the hesitancy to use public transit. But second, and crucially, we're going to have to pay for this, both of it. And on the one hand, we're going to have to redesign types of vehicles we use, from airplanes to vans, to incorporate what we've learned about ventilation in the public health sector. We know now that ventilation is the crucial solution of a non-pharmaceutical type to deal with the pandemic. So right now, major bus companies in Europe and Asia are redesigning the interior of buses to incorporate the ventilation principles that have been developed to deal with the schools and the buildings. That's going to cost money. Secondly, the aspect of developing a real critical approach to this is get vaccinated. If we reduce the actual source of transmission, which is us, vaccinate as many people as you can. Once we hit a level of vaccination, the threat of transmission is reduced from its origin. That is the people walking around here today. So the two messages are the joining of climate crisis and the transmission of crisis of pandemic. There's a mutual way to solve both of them. So thank you.